There are 7,000 languages, and one of them is called Fongbé. Also known as Fongbé is spoken by about 2 million people, primarily in the West African Republic of Benin. Today, we're going to meet a Fongbé speaker and learn how he's keeping his language alive. Hey everyone, my name is Daniel and I'm the director of Wikitongues, where we support endangered and under-resourced languages. So if you want to learn about every language in the world, like, subscribe, and keep watching for more. In 2023, we invited Mahuton Possoupe, a Fongbé speaker and software developer, to join our growing network of Wikitongues Fellows. We started the fellowship in 2021 to support the leaders of language revitalization, people who are saving their languages from extinction.
Noi Mahuton, Mahuton Possoupe. Innovação do Wikimedia Foundation. Fondation não põe no wiki le tipo inovação do finance mais inovação do informatique, le développement logiciel, ouais non bleu. Madame Fongbé est mais point de 10 000 de coutons, donc coutons va donner sur un point de beaucoup Fongbé, pour être Fongbé double, Fongbé.
Language revitalization is the social process of keeping an endangered or threatened language alive, or bringing a dormant language back to life. The specifics change from culture to culture, but there are core universal themes to every revitalization project. Helping adults learn the language, raising children as new native speakers, and finding ways to weave the language back into daily life. It's a generational undertaking that involves linguistics, education, art, and even technology. So if Fongbé has 2 million speakers, why does it need revitalizing?
Madame Fongbé est content. Benin to me. When una botero you to me fit o Benin you me tire se do o Fongbé ya mi do poder flim hole mi comprendre. Do fond to me me susu de wono do Fongbé tam. Bo e non do dagweton. O you l'entend bien un problème no me. Et le Benin to me en français de un pays officiel pays mi tombe et non do lo e en français de Benin no ya somme.
The modern-day Republic of Benin descends from the African kingdom of Dahomey, which was annexed and colonized by France in the 1890s. The people of Dahomey won their independence in 1960, and in 1975, another African name, Benin, was chosen for the new republic. Benin is the indigenous name for the pre-colonial kingdom of Benin, which is now part of Nigeria, as well as a bight in the Gulf of Guinea. On paper, the Republic of Benin recognizes its indigenous languages, but in practice, French remains the only official language. That makes it very hard for Fon people, or members of any culture in Benin, to study their language in schools, use their language online, or enjoy mother tongue content like books, movies, and TV shows. Children do still learn Fongbé, so it's not endangered yet, but it is under-resourced, and Mahuton is part of a growing movement of speakers who do not take its future for granted.
Mais me deu bodo no conhece do purupo. Amo me inspiré em town le o journaliste le, mais no do holo télévision le. Et de me nymodo que e no hokanta. Do e ya o comprendre si bibe me no que Fongbé e no talita. O ma journaliste d'ava wenele alo me no bleu émission do radio télévision ou TV ne no do Fongbé no bleu émission no do Fongbé. Alors il me no bleu cantata ne no do Fongbé ni modo e de me no inspiré mi town le.
When you revitalize your language, the first step is often to preserve it by recording videos of native speakers, building dictionaries, and creating other kinds of linguistic documentation. The next step is teaching it, creating new and fluent native speakers. The most open-ended part of language revitalization is bringing your language back into daily life, back to the center of your culture. In Benin, Fon journalists have been doing this by speaking Fongbé in online videos, on the radio, and on TV, inspiring other Fongbé speakers to get involved. Meanwhile, Mahuton has been building on that momentum by using his experience as a software developer to grow the language online.
Amon, mais allait dépasser télévision, bon a dépassé oral, bon a eu nous condo internet internet bien distancié. Donc c'est pour ça que mais allait au camp. Bon, il y a des soins à développer de internet il internet au français mais alors classique mais et bien non mon l'ébé et quand il y a des soins mais une promotion pour mi tonton. Bon nous font des soins et tout. À mon oui mais quand moi disons que au clavier le baisse en 2018 mais dès quand on dit clavier de haut demandé là bon clavier ben là sur la Fongbé do internet dit donc il y a aucun code Google pour Google comme dit on bloc clavier Fongbé tombe do Android les bon Android les si on en clavier Fongbé facilement donc il y a une initiative de pour le nous qu'on y ouais à mon il y a deux barrières nous et do mais un autre côté tant on met là mais sur ordinateur téléphone et sinon clavier derrière clavier de boudé à mon enfant que tu en français bien ben en deux combinaisons donc anyway quand tant le quoi ben là tout au moins mais un clavier virtuel mais comprendre à l'ordinateur et dit dans le fond mais le quand est ton quoi bon elle a là bon il y a un bloc clavier virtuel et un internet dit bon mais debout et plateforme et on a saisi on a fond béton et tu les on a copié on a mahamé tu les si on est tapé on a sur word si on est tapé on a imprimé.
Digital inclusion is increasingly central to linguistic survival. If you can't use your language online, if you can't text in your language, you're more likely to stop speaking it. Therefore, language activists increasingly need to incorporate technology into their revitalization projects. For many languages, Fongbé included, keyboards are among the first steps to that process. If your mother tongue is a global language like English, Hindi, or Mandarin, you may take for granted how easy it is to write your language across devices. Desktops, laptops, and smartphones have physical and digital keyboards in your language's writing system, and autocorrect extends to your language, making it easy to text people and create original content in your mother tongue. By contrast, if your language doesn't have a keyboard, it's effectively shut out from most of the internet. Even video and image platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram have text-based components. As Mahuton said, Fongbé speakers got their first keyboard in 2018 as a third-party app for Android phones, and that was a great start. If you have an Android phone, you can now type using the Fongbé alphabet, which is a version of the Roman alphabet that English and French use, with an extended set of characters that devices rarely support by default. In 2023, Mahuton took that one step further by building a virtual keyboard that can be installed across devices, for example on a laptop or desktop computer with a physical keyboard built for English and French. To use Mahuton's keyboard, go to fongbé.bj/clavier-fon. There, you can easily type any of the core Latin character set normally, and any of Fongbé's extended characters using special key commands. For example, to write enache numi, which means thank you in Fongbé, you would type the phrase normally and enter ~e to write the special e character. You can then copy and paste your Fongbé text anywhere for printing or publishing online. Full user instructions are available in text and video on the keyboard's website. Mahuton hopes that by expanding keyboard access to desktops and laptops, it will be easier for Fongbé speakers to create more long-form content in their language. In his case, he's most excited about growing the Fongbé version of Wikipedia.
Do nula we queen of Fongbé mene dio mi sobra te dio minado peto egiwedo sinsawe. Mi matuno yera Wikipedia we ya gba eji no so no yin no nyonwe do ateji do banjo tome bono me bi si ontun bo eyin agba eji no kan Benin le na so bi lo fine bo o we kwin ran mi blo ha Wikitongues zombo we hedio esi wonlan o kesle esi wonlan le do Fongbé me wona solo Wikipedia di anyway zombo mi mo lo dion mo ale o do agayiwe bodo susue ni ma modia. Donc et gêné et on me dit on et mélodion oze 2000 ou oze 2000 ou dit maintenant et on me dit Google blonde les bon il doit mi ba Fongbé dion mi asi umo no mula mele blo Wikipedia di Google no so mele it fine blo no ba me de no de Wikipedia di no no in da o de di bo mi do bo na me ho me ho no ta di no que mi so fond Wikipedia do fond me di mi pon di me lo peto ke gilo le hawe do Wikipedia fond que ton di zan we tan hi hawe mi mo do me ge no har sin beneto me ge no har sin Euro France to me ge no har sin o America to me donc Canada fiteme mele no ha e blodo que nwene o petrol bi baada yi bona do yin plan na do me bi bo e sorto bi se so.
In the same way that Mahuton was inspired by journalists using Fongbé in their work, I think it's likely that Mahuton's effort to expand the language online will inspire even more Fongbé speakers to bring the language back to the center of their cultural life. This is how language revitalization grows. In fact, Mahuton attributes his drive to build a Fongbé keyboard to when he saw the language written for the first time. He was also inspired by seeing other cultures fight to keep their languages alive.
Et no Benin to me on connaît moins importance toi, c'est-à-dire minuto Fongbé tout ça. Bon, on va voyager pour Barcelone. Bon Barcelone bon maintenant Barcelone dans catalan ouais des doigts. Bon ici le Benin en même temps. Bon il on va montrer que il développé nous pays ton temps. Bon il hokan nous pays ton temps. Et nous on va ton avant. Mais là le quand le pays ton bon mi de calo était ouais mais de masin hokan le pays ton. Donc et nous on porter mi temps. Bon si 2018 on na je kan hoji bon nous mais la promotion Fongbé sous temps. Et nous ouais mi fond so Wikipédia doté le temps mais do Barcelone donc Wikipédia do Fongbé mais doté mi no mi na blo promotion que attendez sous besi azane que no tameni do projet sosoji de na blog mo que na enu kon na blog mo beto si on langue facilement na blog mo mele si on me le Togo de les si on hack on na on tek plan donc projet sosoji we mi do aso ado.
So, if you're a Fongbé speaker, I hope you'll download Mahuton's keyboard and think about ways that you can contribute to the mother tongue movement in Benin. And if you speak another language that's endangered or under-resourced, I hope this video helps you think about how you can start keeping your language alive. What are your ancestral languages, and what do you think about language revitalization? Let us know in the comments. Now it's time for the Patreon question of the video. Chris Weber asked me to clarify for first-time viewers why languages become endangered in the first place. This is a great question. A language becomes endangered when the youngest generation no longer speaks it, and a language becomes extinct when the last native speaker dies. Sometimes this process is, for lack of a better word, natural, when one language evolves into another as the culture changes, like, for example, when classical Latin evolved into modern Romance languages like Spanish, Catalan, or French. However, languages can also be driven into extinction by economics, politics, or violence, like, for example, when the US and Canada forced Indigenous children into assimilation schools, where they were given English names and punished for speaking their languages. Unfortunately, a majority of today's endangered languages are endangered because of politics or violence. So, language revitalization is as much about saving cultural knowledge as it is about undoing injustice. And that is one of many reasons why we do what we do at Wikitongues. So, this was our first time working on a video essay like this, and I hope you liked it. If you'd like to see more from Wikitongues, consider joining us on Patreon or as a paid member of this channel, if you can afford it. We're a small nonprofit, and as we earn more from YouTube, we can spend less time applying for grants and more time sharing stories like these. Thank you, or as we'd say in one of my ancestral languages, Yiddish, Ashainam Donk. See you next time.